Rampage and I finally get off the strip and check out Fremont Street, and on it, the new Circa Hotel. Their sportsbook is absolutely unreal. In fact, next year I know exactly where you can find me on Super Bowl Sunday. Eventually though, we stumble into the Golden Nugget and hop into the 1-2 uncapped game. I try to be funny and buy in for $1,000. The Golden Nugget allows cash on the table as well, so of course I have to participate. I get $600 in chips and throw 4 blue hundreds on the table as well. We're in for $1,000. Rampage decides $1,000 isn't enough, and he one-ups me when he buys in for $1,500. I'm not going out that easy. I'm not going to let him win though. I chip up an additional $1,000, so I'm into this 1-2 game before even seeing one hand for $2,000. I'm serious, you guys. Some of the hands in this video that you're about to see are so insane that if you don't like this video and this video does not get 2,000 likes, I'll debate quitting this channel entirely. $2,000 in our stack. First hand of the night, we look down at pocket jacks from the big blind. Under the gun, middle position player limp. Rampage raises to $30 on the button. Let me just repeat that real quick. Rampage just came in for a 15x raise. Regardless of his raise size though, jacks is way too strong of a hand just to flat and go out of position, so I 3-bet Rampage to $102. He ultimately doesn't think too long though and puts in the call. Heads up to the flop with 209 in the pot comes King 5-6 Rainbow. Not the best board, but we should have more aces, kings, and ace king here in our range, so I bet 30% of the pot for $65. He pretty quickly folds and we scoop that $274 pot. Game on, Ethan. We may have won the hand, but Rampage has won the battle of the chips. He adds on for an additional $1,500 more, so he covers us now and he's in for $3,000. I wave the white flag. $2,100 in our stack. We look down at 3-5 of clubs from the big blind. The straddle's on, there's a bunch of callers, so it comes back around to me. I complete, and luckily the straddle checks. 6 ways to the flop with $30 in the pot comes 3, 5, 9, 2 hearts, bang. Bottom 2 on a draw heavy board sounds good to me. I decide to lead out here for $30. The straddle and the middle position player both call, so we're going 3 ways to the turn. 120 in the pot comes a 6 of spades. 2, 4, and 7, 8 now make a straight, but the obvious heart draw is still just that, a draw. So I keep betting, this time to the tune of $90. It doesn't take too long and both players call again, which is kind of interesting of a development here. 3 ways to the river with 390 in the pot comes a jack of spades. Backdoor spades now come in, but all in all this is a pretty good non-board pairing river. I decide to check here and call any reasonably sized bet, and now the action player on my left picks up where I left off and bets $135, around 33% of the pot. Interesting spot here, which gets even more interesting when middle position player calls, and I think both of these players' ranges are capped when they just call the turn. I think if someone had a straight or a set, they would have raised considering there's 2 flush possibilities, and it's also an insane price for us to call. We have to put in just $135 to win $795, so we just need to be good around 17% of the time, and I think we have a good enough hand here to call. So that's what I do. I put in $135 as well. My left shows 8-9 for a pair of 9s. Under the gun shows ace-jack for a pair of jacks on the river, and I proudly flip over my bottom 2 pair for the win. We scoop that $795 pot. Let's take a second here to pause and admire these chip stacks at the 1-2 table. I know what I should have titled this video now, Building Castles at the Nugget. And now, ladies and gentlemen, well pretty much just gentlemen because YouTube says 97% of you that are watching this are male, I present to you the biggest hand I've ever played. 26.75 in our stack. We're in the cutoff position with Jack 10 of clubs. I raise it to 12, and now the button, who was the player with the 8-9 in the last hand, basically min raises me here to $30. I'm not going anywhere for $18 more. I call. Heads up to the flop with 63 in the pot comes 9 of clubs, 3 of clubs, 7 of hearts. What a board. We flop a gutter to the straight as well as a club flush draw, and I check and flow here as I would do with pretty much my entire range. He now continuation bets for $30, and I make a pretty standard call. In case you're wondering, I think there is merit to raising the flop here as well. The turn with 123 in the pot comes the 8 of clubs, an absolute banger of a card because not only do we improve to a straight, we also improve to the flush. Additionally, we are also open-ended to the straight flush. I check again here, planning on going for the check raise, and the button keeps the pressure on and bets $70. Music to our ears, and we stick to the plan and raise him to $215. Here I expect him to fold a decent portion of the time, and then occasionally call us with a few two-pair sets and straight combos. But that's not what happens. He has evil intentions and 3-bets us to $675, you guys. What is he repping? All the strong hands that I can come up with wouldn't play this as a 3-bet, and with a flush on board, would he really 3-bet me with a set or a straight? Not to mention the fact that we do block the nut straight here, having the Jack 10 ourselves. I think this is just a really weird spot that he can pretty much only have a higher flush or a hand with a high club in it, like aces or kings. Although I'm not condoning the way he's playing this. If he does have aces or kings, I'd probably just flat my bet here to 215. Regardless though, I do have a flush, which is a pretty good hand and a pretty hard hand to make here at no limit hold'em. So I put in the additional $460 and make the call. $14.73 now in the pot. The river comes the 6 of clubs, one of the worst cards in the deck. Obviously, we were looking to avoid the 4th club here on the river, since now aces and kings with a club in their hand now get there, and we're not going to get any more value from sets or straights on this board. I make a super easy check here, like I hope all of you would, and now he takes a moment here to posture himself before saying the 2 words that we really didn't want to hear: all in.
Come on.
There's around $1,500 in the pot, and he has approximately $1,600 in his stack, so this is definitely a disgusting spot. I just can't find many hands that we beat here, and facing an all-in that's very polarizing, I think it's likely that he somehow stumbled into a higher flush and has us beat, and he's just going for max value. I just don't see how I can call it off here with a jack high flush when a queen, king, or an ace could beat us. I tank and ultimately tank for longer than I've ever tanked in my entire life, and he actually does something strange, and he walks over to another table and sits down with his face in his hands. The dealer and another player at the table mention is his hand dead, because apparently you're supposed to be protecting your hand, and they're not sure if you can leave the table while in a hand.
If somebody actually puts us all in, we can go to another table and sit down and relax.
They ultimately call the floor over, who rules this is such a big hand that this guy is definitely in the hand, regardless of the fact that he left the table.
Action, put the river card out, checks. Gentleman pauses for a couple of minutes and then goes all in. This gentleman asks for a count. I'm getting ready to count, and the guy walks away.
He's in the game. If you think, what's this guy's deal? He's 100% in this game.
How can this guy walk away from the table when there's $3,000 plus in the pot? I just don't get it. After getting the dealer to count out around $1,600 and getting the exact count, I ultimately find the fold, and I show our jack high flush face up, hoping to induce him to do the same. Some smart guy in the back says that he doesn't have to show squat, but luckily for us, he shows us the ace of clubs, which lets us know that we made the correct fold. But then we get the weird news when he throws his cards into the muck and exposes the jack of diamonds. What? So you're telling me that he bet the flop with 2 overcards and then 3-bet me on the turn just to go runner clubs for the nuts? Absolute insanity. If that club doesn't come, he said he was bluffing the river as well, so we would have likely won an over $5,000 pot. Disgusting. Poker gods, 1 time, no club. Oh well, on to the next hand. $1,800 in our stack. We look down at ace-8 of hearts from the hijack. Ethan on my right raises to $20. I call, and so does the cutoff, button, small blind, and the big blind. No shortage of action here at the Nugget. 6 ways to the flop with 120 in the pot. Comes 6, 8, 4. We flop top. Nice board for us, but Ethan now bets $100, and if he's betting $100 on the flop here into 5 players, I imagine he has a pretty strong hand here, so I wave the white flag and fold my top into the muck. The crazy guy who beat me in that $3,000 pot now stacks another player in a $3,000 pot, and Ethan immediately adds on for $2,000 more. Yes, he's into this game for $7,000, and let me remind you, the blinds are $1, $2. Then, a huge $11,000 pot happens with Ethan in it. I won't spoil it though, so definitely head over to his channel if you want to see how it plays out. Let's just say though, he wishes things went a little differently. And in case you need a little bit more incentive to go check out his video, Here's a clip of him making absolutely no sense just moments after the hand.
He was first to act and checked and called after 3 other players on flop. He called 200 over 3 other players with 200 in front of them and called 200.
We then follow up the largest pot of the night with us winning this $30 pot for comedic relief. Gotta take the big ones with the small ones.
And the very next hand?
Spread it. Can you spread the pot? There's a sad man over here.
I'm okay, yeah. Smile. You can't see him smiling in this.
If you like this video so far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. Last hand of the night, $1,600 in our stack. We look down at pocket tens from the cutoff. Folds over to Rampage on my right, he raises to 25, and I should be 3-betting here to $100, but instead I'm shocked from all that's happened tonight, and I end up just putting in the call, but no worries, the button does the raising for us and makes it $100. Rampage folds, and I put in the call. Heads up to the flop, 228 in it, comes ace, 3, 6. I check to him, and he checks back. The turn pairs the 3, it's the 3 of clubs, giving us 2 pair now, and I check it over to him again. He checks behind. The river is the 5 of hearts, and the action checks around again, very passive for this table, and he shows pocket queens to take that one down. After a long session, we rack up and hit the cage.
9, 20, 40, 60, 75, 6, 7, 8.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
You have a good night.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Holy crap, what a video. Not that many hands, but the hands that we did show you guys were absolutely insane. You're going to want to go check out Rampage's Poker's video. He took a little bit more of a beating today than I did. Obviously, I was like an 82% chance to win that 3.2K pot. The dude had ace of clubs, jack of diamonds, which is just so strange. I knew he was not a good player, and I knew that I had him on the turn. That's why I raised. But then when he clicked it back to me, I thought, okay, let's just let him hang himself. No club on the river. I'm going to check it to him. He's going to bet 500 to 1,000, and I'm going to call it off. Unfortunately, that river was not the 7 of clubs giving us a straight flush, but it was a club that we did not want to see. I put him on aces to queens, but who knows. What a crazy thing. You're definitely going to want to come to the Golden Nugget. Maybe don't buy in as deep as we did. It was obviously a joke at first, but then it just got crazy. People saw our large stacks and just wanted to get in on the action. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm probably going to try to play another session before I leave Vegas tomorrow. Maybe at Caesars, maybe at Bally's, maybe at the Venetian. We'll have to see. If you guys like this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. We're trying to catch up to Rampage, get to 50K. Trying to put out good content for you guys. Entertaining content is what I'm here for. Like this video, subscribe if you're new, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.